What's going on, guys? It's your boy Spudzie here, and today we're going to be taking a look at what I think is the next up and coming build for PvP. This is the Condi Herald, and it has been buffed a lot recently. Adjustments made to its damage and sustain have really helped to push it up so that it's able to deal with today's meta. Condi Herald has mostly flown under the radar as far as I know, and with things like Catalyst and Spellbreaker that are slated for nerfs here pretty soon, I can see this build easily becoming one of the better ones that most Revenants should flock to, especially once Vindicator is nerfed. Depending on the traits you take, Condi Herald can be built as a bulky side noder who heals for so much and keeps up damage with its consistent Condi applications. In teamfights, the Condi Herald can frontline using all of its CC to lock down opponents while transferring conditions from allies to themselves, and then finally back to the enemies. While I will say this build does have a bit of a learning curve to get around, I myself had to play quite a bit of matches to fully understand it, and I can honestly say that once you have it down with a few games under your belt, you're going to feel the difference in your abilities. For the build itself, we take the Sage Amulet. This amulet will allow us to have damage as well as extra health with healing power. Healing power complements the build very well because of the fact that we basically have two sources of regen. We get the regeneration boon from the Glint stance, and we gain resistance from Demon stance. Because of our traits, resistance will actually heal us per tick, just like regeneration. The Rune of the Sunless will provide us with condition damage, as well as lower the amount of Condi damage that we take as well. This is great, seeing as how we will be transferring Condis onto ourselves with multiple skills. The bonus from this rune is actually quite nice, with the ability to inflict fear whenever we use our elite skill. This alone has secured me a lot of kills and even helps to peel enemies off of your teammates. A fear from this rune combos perfectly with the Glint elite skill, guaranteeing that you land it. We run a mace and an axe for the offensive setup with Sigil of Doom and Exposure. On the defensive set, we take a sword and an offhand shield with cleansing and energy. While you can run staff in this slot, I personally prefer shield because of the block and chill from sword too. For our traits, we take Corruption, Invocation, and Herald. The Corruption trait line will allow us to gain resistance very reliably, as well as heal from it with every tick. Additionally, every time we swap legends, we will be spewing conditions onto enemies, so it is always best to try and swap right on top of an opponent. Invocation will also help with this, as it will spew even more conditions when we swap between our legends. When playing in teamfights, your primary role is to engage for your team by controlling enemies. The AoE pulls on Demon Stance and Axe 5 are perfect for this and can chain off of one another. This will allow you to land your Mace 2 into Mace 3 combos, as well as get legend swaps right on top of multiple enemies. The other thing you should look to do in these fights is to take conditions from your teammates. While your F2 is toggled in Demon Stance, you will pull the Condis from your allies onto yourself. Your sustain through regen and resistance will help to manage this as you start taking a lot of damage. You'll want to then activate the F2 again in order to transfer the Condis back onto enemies around you. And don't worry if you can't hit any enemies, as the F2 will still cleanse Condis off of you. When going for that more side noder playstyle, this build has a double regen, meaning that you will be able to stand and fight for much longer. The Boon Rip on Demon Stance is great for dealing with things like Catalysts when they try and challenge. You can actually burn enemies pretty quick when you land your combos. Look to set up CC in order to land these. A great burst combo that I usually look for is to first CC the opponent, then use Mace 2 into 3, going right into a legend swap, and finishing with Sword 2. This combo ensures that we get tons of Torment and Burning from our Mace combo fields, as well as proc all the Condis from legend swapping. A condition transfer from F2 is not just good in teamfights, but dueling as well. Watch as I'm able to flip this Mechanist's Condis right back onto him, so that he just melts from his own flames. A very satisfying kill, I would say. The Condi Herald is a fantastic build for PvP and will continue to be, especially after future patches. I'd recommend finding someone to queue with, as this build complements others very well. Let me know down below if you like the build and if you're finding success on it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask by joining the Discord down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.